Aloha, friends and family. Happy, joyful, blissful 2022. Happy, joyful, blissful new you on this 8th day of 2022. A new year bursting with aloha, the presence of divine breath, recognizing God in everyone, in all life. Aloha, truth. Yesterday, I shared the impact Ram Dass's words, "Listen to your own truth," had on me at the beginning of my spiritual awakening in this lifetime. I say this lifetime because just as sure as we are blessed with the sun and moon in our skies, we've been here to enjoy them before. Over 2/3 of the world's population believes in reincarnation, and there are many references to it in the Bible and other great spiritual books. So, not only are we trying to mine our nuggets of golden truths from the rubble we absorbed from our parents, the society we grew up in, various governments, religious orientations, education systems, advertising, and views of our friends and family, we're also mining our golden nuggets of truth from what we brought with us from past lives. Yesterday, I mentioned a friend's Facebook post that said, "If you don't leave your past in the past, it will destroy your future." Well, it's pretty hard to leave our past in the past when we brought a lot of it with us. And what we experience in this lifetime is often a mirror of what we brought with us. You may be asking, why am I bringing this up? Well, for me, past life overflow can bring context to current situations, especially really chaotic ones, where nothing seems to make sense. They're like a preview to our life and can provide a full picture to what's happening right now. If we haven't had the pleasure of meeting before, my name is Timothy. I've been helping people like you for over 40 years get an overall picture of what's happening in their lives using ancient arts, sacred sciences, fairy tales, God's grace, and everything in between. Sometimes people need this overall picture to move through obstacles in any area of their life and thrive like never before. I've helped people trying to conceive for years do so in less than 2 weeks. Someone who had no intention of having another child see and honor that another one wanted to bless her life. And people of all ages experiencing almost every challenge you can imagine, and some you couldn't begin to imagine. I once did a lot of energetic work and family support over many years for a single mom whose only son was diagnosed with a genetic disease at age 4, a genetic disease that would claim his life in his early teens. As if this wasn't enough, he then developed leukemia. By age 10, he was on more hospital machinery than anyone I've ever seen. Watching him suffer day after day tore my heart out, and I prayed to God to show me how a young child could be suffering so. It was obvious he hadn't done anything in this lifetime to deserve this. My prayer was answered, and God showed me everything he brought into this life to balance out. While seeing this was horrific, it also helped me understand the situation on deeper levels. And it helped me counsel and support his mom. Each one of us has chosen the most difficult circumstances for our own unique lives to balance what we came in with. For this little boy, it was lifetimes of atrocities perpetrated on others he had to balance. For another person, It may simply be, as if anything simple, that they were born to very strict parents, a strictness that felt like torture and imprinted subconscious time bombs that affect every aspect of their life moving forward until they do deep work of resolving, forgiving, and releasing. For another, they may have been physically or emotionally abused as a child, resulting in even deeper wounds to bring to the surface, resolve, forgive, and release. I'll never forget one of the first Reiki classes I taught at a psychological center. I was invited to teach by the owner and had no idea of who her clientele was. It turned out to be children who had been adults now, but abused severely as children. What have you brought in with you? And what experiences from this lifetime, childhood to even right now, are still held in your subconscious memory banks and running, or more like ruining, your life? Are you actively clearing those things out so your children and loved ones don't get the fallout? It's not fun being on the receiving end of such fallout. That's why every course I develop and every fairy tale of the heart I write takes this into consideration. In this moment, please bring your hands to your heart and honor yourself for being here at one of the most pivotal times in Earth's history. You are love, 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 listening to your own truth and unraveling all that keeps you from living your ALOHA. A monumental task for each of us. There was actually a lot of grace in what that little boy went through. Grace, you might ask? Yes, grace. His intense suffering was short-lived. One of my blessed friends of over 35 years, who's no longer with us, suffered from the day she was a toddler until she left her body in her 80s. We used to drive 2 hours nearly every Sunday for years to chant and meditate together. She was very clairvoyant too, and could provide deeper insights into things that were going on in my life and eluding my perception. She was born into a Christian Scientist family and started pursuing East Indian practices in her 30s, meeting Baba Muktananda. Her entire life was devoted to God. Picture a sweet grandma type who made her own clothes, always using soft pastel colors. Picture someone who I never saw get angry or utter a harsh word. Picture someone who in her 70s went back and forth on a bus to work in a major department store. In her 70s, she also started forgetting things. She'd blank out at stoplights, take her foot off the brake and run into the car in front of her. She'd put something on the stove, forget it, and leave the house she was staying in, not closing the front door. She was asked to leave several places. The last one coincided with me moving into a house with an extra room, so I offered it to her so I could help get to the bottom of what was going on. The day she moved in, I went into the room next to hers to hook up some phone equipment, and suddenly there was a truck driver in her room. She was cussing and swearing, putting combination of words together I never heard in a voice I never heard. I listened to this nonstop tirade for 5 minutes before asking her to sit and meditate. I later discovered she also ate like a truck driver, both in quantity and choices of food like garlic and onions when someone else fixed her meals. She'd never fix such things for herself and ate like a bird when she prepared her own meals. This lady, who could get herself back and forth to work and be effective at work, also turned into an invalid when she walked in the front door. It's like putting the key in that door turned her into somebody completely different. Suddenly, everything hurt and she couldn't help around the house. Talk about ticking time bombs. To make a long story short, my friend, who seemed so normal in the 35 years I was around her quite often, had been abused so traumatically as a child, she split into multiple different personalities in order to survive. It took over 70 years of spiritual practices and someone who wanted to help get to the bottom of what appeared to be dementia before she was ready to look at the trauma and integrate those split pieces. Beloveds, there are so many walking wounded among us. I dated a lady who was a successful nutritional coach with multiple advanced degrees. When we met, she had just completed a 5-year holistic multicultural ordination program with a very well-known Sufi master. A Sufi master she was able to hide her inner wounds from. She was like Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll. She could lovingly teach a class 1 minute and then walk into a restaurant with me and immediately yell at a waiter who brought her a glass of water without her asking for it. She had no idea she was doing this either. Once, after a hike in the redwoods and then driving out, she let me drive right past the restrooms for over a quarter mile before asking, "Aren't you going to ask me if I have to use the restroom?" And that's not the half of it. Like with that little boy with leukemia, I prayed to God to show me what was going on. That very night, I had a dream of Sybil, and in meditation the next morning, was shown the source of her childhood wounds she had no idea were running and ruining her life. That comment I mentioned earlier, if you don't leave your past, it will destroy your future, is just the tip of the iceberg. The entire iceberg means identifying your past and seeing, being aware in the present moment, how it's affecting you. You can't just sweep hurt after hurt under the rug and expect to live your aloha. Once again, please bring your hands to your heart and honor yourself for being here, for discovering and listening to your own truth, no matter what that might uncover. Whatever pain or limitation is blessing your life right now is a doorway to freedom, to aloha. You can use sacred relationships, every interaction, as a mirror to reflect wounds and ticking time bombs yet to be revealed. Get into your body with dancing, yoga, and qigong. Sing, chant, meditate. Dive into your heart and soul deeper and deeper each day. Be open to expanding your spiritual practices if you need to. Take advantage of the free meditations at timothystutz.com to not only heal old wounds, but leave you thriving in ways you cannot imagine, even if you've been meditating for decades. I'll put the link in the description box. There are also free qigong exercises, guided visualizations, and a fairy tale of the heart and BB Jubilee song for your children and other family members to help you all move through your lives with grace and ease, enjoying more vibrant, peaceful, healthy, and blissful lives, connecting ever deeper to your original magic and own truths. By downloading these free transformational gifts, I'll also be able to notify you when I release an upcoming webinar. 3 magic wands you can use immediately to help your young children be more creative, consistently happier, and super empowered. I'm sure you'll even find some gems for yourself, even for yourself in this webinar, even if you don't have any children. Also, if you or anyone you know feels like you're stuck at a level you can't get beyond, please reach out. Please share this video with your friends and family too. Let's give everyone an opportunity to experience what it's like to listen to and live in their own truth. A truth free of all outside influences. A truth where the past really is past. With all my blessings for peace, love, vibrant health, and bliss, wrapped in an infinite rainbow of miraculous, magical miracles for you, your children, and your family. Aloha for tuning in. Listen, listen, listen to your own truth. Feel the love radiating from my heart to your heart, through my eyes into your soul.